What's up, dudes? It's Wolfman Dave back at it again. So, this is the end of the year, That Metal Podcast, best metal albums of 2025. Today I have 10. If you listen to the podcast, I have 15. Eric and I just did one the other day where we discuss our favorite albums of the year and one non metal album. So, hopefully, you dig some of my picks. I'm interested to know what are some of your picks. Let me know in the comments. Uh, but first, let's drink some coffee. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever, whenever you're watching this. Okay, let's start off with Spirit World and Hellerado. So I really liked their previous album, Death Western. I really liked the this idea of this Western metal hardcore, slash. I don't. They have their own thing going on. I can tell you that for sure. But what I liked about Helldorado is there's this sliminess, there's this griminess to it, but in a much Western way, I would say. Um, there's some core elements to this band still, but I really liked is that there's a lot of Slayer elements to this band, anyways. And if you dig these fools, you'll probably dig Frozen Soul, and Gate Creeper as well. If you're a fan of those bands, you'll be fine with Spirit World. Some of the more notable songs for me were Abilene Grime, No Vacancy in Heaven, Western Stars, and The Apocalypse. Waiting on the Reaper. That's one of the fucking coolest songs. But my favorite probably is the Bird Song of Death. Super catchy, um, acoustic sort of. I think that's probably one of the fan favorites right there. That's number 10. Let's move on to number 9. We have Gruesome with Silent Echoes. Now, this is the one that I tell everybody, uh, you know, if you like death, old school death metal, you're gonna fucking like this. Specifically, if you're digging the Human album from Death, this is a huge homage tribute to the band Death. I think Gruesome does their part in this. Certainly, Matt Harvey is not a um, stranger to the death camp as well, uh, or to the death metal scene, as seeing as he wasn't exhumed many years ago. So if you're a fan of all this stuff, I would even say this that if you played this for somebody and you told them, "Oh, these were some bonus tracks off the Human album," they wouldn't fucking even blink. They would be like, "Oh, that sounds fucking killer, dude!" And so that's how good this album sounds. So if you like old school death metal, if you love death, specifically the Human album, you're gonna love Silent Echoes. Number 9, right? Let's move on. Hooded Menace with Lachrymose Monuments of Obscuration. So this one to me is a very interesting album. If this is what their seventh album off Season of Mist, this is more of a death, doom, traditional metal. There's elements of I want to say there's elements of early Catatonia, maybe some typo negative in there, like feel to it. But yeah, if you're a fan of Tomb Mold, Blood Incantation, or Worm, where it's super slimy, grimy metal, with a splash of doom and um, traditional metal elements, I think this is a band or an album that you're gonna dig the most. Certainly, I've seen this one on a lot of people's list as well. Um, Pale Masquerade is a great song. Portrait Without a Face, another great one. Um, and Save a Prayer. I think what they're doing is awesome, but if you like the whole, mid-tempo, not too fast, not too, double bassy, I think this is perfect. Let's move on to number 7. Lamp of Murmur, The Dreaming Prince, and Ecstasy. So this one is just one of those black metal albums that are fucking insane. I love it because it reminds me of like early 2000s, late 90s, Immortal. It reminds me of Old Man's Child, Emperor. Maybe Lamp of Murmur may not sound like all of those bands combined, but they have elements that if you like those bands, you're gonna definitely like Lamp of Murmur. Um, and then I would say that some of the favorite songs for me, Forest of Hallucinations, Hate Gate, the actual title track, which is split up into three. There's a lot of peaks and valleys, and it's split up really well. I think it's wonderfully done. Um, and the fucking solos and the leads are fucking killer on a lot of on a lot of the songs. So, um, but I think if you're a fan again of Immortal, you're gonna definitely like Lamp of Murmur. There's not really much I can say about it, other than it's a masterpiece, I think. I'm debating whether I don't know if this is better than their previous album, but it might be. At number six, we have Black Braid with Black Braid 3, of course. New York, um, Native American elements, which is fucking beautiful, by the way. Um, and yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with this album specifically. If you're a fan of Agalok, if you're a fan of Fan, Wolves in the Throne Room, you're gonna definitely love Black Braid 3. I know there was some stuff going on in the past with one of the festivals that he did. He pissed on in a place that he shouldn't have been, and it's kind of fucked up that he did that. But that's old news, and hopefully we're moving on, and hopefully he's learned from that experience. Doesn't take away from how badass this album is, though. So check it out. Now, here is an album that could have easily been my number one. So, Allegiant with the Ossuary Lens. If you're a fan of technical death metal, Fallujah, I would even say melodic death metal in this case for this album, that you're gonna fucking love the Ossuary Lens. I think it's powerful. I think it's addictive. Um, and there may be some elements too that may be appealing to some Cradle of Filth fans, possibly. Maybe it's like cinematic, you know. Um, but also, if you're a fan of like Septic Flesh or Rivers of Nile or Nile, um, I think old school death metal dudes are not gonna like this album. I think this is more, um, because there's probably like a bit of a polished feel to it that some people may not like. So, you know, to me, it still rules. It's still heavy. It has this technicality, but there's a modern touch to it, and I still think it sounds really good. Uh, Also, I do feel like there's a song that's called "Dark Matter Dynamics." If you're a fan, and that specifically this their acoustic parts in this album, if you're a fan of, let's say, Candy Rat Records, you're gonna really like a lot of the acoustic pieces in there because that's what it reminds me of, specifically like Andy McKee. Um, but other songs like Driftwood, Chaos Theory, Carried by Disillusion, especially that song specifically, reminds me a lot of Dark Tranquillity. So you might dig that one. Let's move on. Kardashev with Alunier. So if you're a fan of Death Heaven, Fallujah, Rivers of Nile, Death Gaze, I would say, is probably the more appropriate term that's used a lot for a band like Kardashev or like Death Heaven. I think if if you're definitely a fan of all that, post metal, atmospheric type stuff, but this has a lot of teeth to it. There's a harder edge to Kardashev, and they're close by in Arizona. Supposedly Tempe, Arizona, so that's fucking cool as shit, man. So I give a lot of props to Nico, Alex, Mark, and Sean. So thank you guys for that. There are bands that, like I listed also Legion, if you like them as well. But I really like this the Final Fantasy vibes that I took from Reunion, the song itself, that really took me for a ride, man. And I really feel like they fucking outdone themselves on this album. And this is off Metal Blade. Actually, Allegiant was on Metal Blade as well. So they did a great job this year. Um, I feel like this is like a warm hug. You know, if you listen to this album, there's a lot of emotional elements to it, ups and downs, peaks and valleys. So I liked Reunion, Speak Silence. We could fold in the stars. We could fold the stars. My bad. Below Sun and Soil. Those are some songs that I really dug from this album. Let's move on. So number three, we have Krigsgrav with Stormcaller. I really loved the album cover. There's something very um, Elden Ring about it that I think is really fucking cool. Um, but yeah, man, if this is a freebie, right? If you like Dissection, Harakiri for the Sky, Fan, arguably for some people, even um, Agalok, even I think that would be a possibility that you're gonna love Krigsgrav. This is a lot more leaning toward the black metal side, but there's melody to it. So again, I want to give it up to Willowtip and the boys, David, Justin, Wes, and Cody. You guys did a fucking great job. Texas boys. Um, but some of the songs that I really dug was Twilight Fell, Bay of Barguest, The Tonic of Wilderness, Stormcaller. So it's sometimes doomy, chugging, slow. Sometimes it plots along, but I do feel like there's elements at some points of a monomarth, and I really like that too. So I think this album deserves your attention if you're big on sort of those, I would say heavier sort of black metal, but not old school. So don't go thinking this is going to be old school, man. But of course, if you're already watching, you already fucking know this band, probably. You're probably already digging it, so it's all good. So number two, this one might not have come as a surprise, is the Moron Police with Pachenko. So my description is if Devin Townsend, Mike Patton had a baby with Saturday morning cartoons, this is the result, right? It's fucking weird. It's fun. It's definitely a roller coaster. There's a lot of ups and downs on this one. Um, and yeah, I mean, it's an independent release. Hopefully, they will release. I'm really hoping for a fucking physical release. Um, it's weird and wacky. I don't know what else what I could explain. I mean, I know it's a concept album. It's somebody who turns into a pachinko machine, a gambling machine in Japan, and you kind of see the story behind it. I believe the devil is behind the whole thing, so that's interesting. Um, but yeah, I mean, also if like I said, if you like progressive metal, in the more fun, casual sense, not necessarily um, on the deeper level, this is a lot more fun. I think you'll probably dig this album, and certainly the songs are fucking catchy, sometimes even poppy. And what I liked about this album is that it changes. So there's a lot of jazz elements, there's a lot of prog elements, there's some brass, so like there's a lot of cool stuff going on in this one. Let it flow. I can tell you that. Don't skip songs, just let it go. That's a great fucking album. So let's get to the number one, which this one might have shocked a lot of people. But I end with C. Saren, The World Outside. This is for fans of Symphony X, Dream Theater, Pain of Salvation, um, you know, Evergrey, even Nevermore to some degree. And this is based out of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Generation Prog Records, um, Jay Lamb, uh, Cohen, Steve, and we have some guests by Andy Gillian. I really want to say that this one is one of those virtuoso sort of progressive metal albums. I'll apologize if you guys heard that car. It's too early for that shit. Anyways, so this album is catchy. It's killer. The riffs are fucking killer. Um, and it's a pretty lengthy. I think it's 10 to 12 minutes average per song. And so you get your money's worth if you buy the CD. I don't think there's a record. I think it's vinyl. I think it's just CDs available. But I think it's ambitious. It doesn't hide that it's progressive metal. It doesn't hide that it's going to be changing. So I think a lot of people that dig Dream Theater are going to 100% love Caesarion, because it goes through all those elements. Sometimes there's a little bit rougher vocals, so they'll go in expecting, uh, always go expecting, thinking there's going to be clean vocals. This dude's vocals are very his own, so it doesn't sound like Dream Theater or Symphony X. I think he sounds more in tune of Pharaoh, Control Denied. His name escapes me, but if you like those sort of vocals with, a lot of elements, there's a lot of jazz, there's a lot of piano, um, but it's heavy as fuck. It's heavy as fuck. So I would say there's a description called mercurial metal, which I kind of see that it's unpredictable, it's very dynamic. There's a lot of changes, and in that sense, yes, I could agree with that. But yeah, this is my favorite album of the year, my number one. See Saren, The World Outside. My non-metal, surprisingly, my non-metal album of the year was Styx, Circling from Above. That one caught me off guard 100%. So that's prog rock. If you like prog rock, shit, you're gonna love that new Styx album. Came out during the summer, I think. But anyways, what are some of your favorites of the year? Post them, share with me, and let me know. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, and we have some episodes planned. So check out the podcast. Buy the ticket, take the fucking ride.